Right, hey there everyone. Welcome to a special episode of, well, welcome back to our channel. I guess you can call this a special episode of How To. And today I am going to run through with you guys on how to pick the best grinder for your needs. I'm going to be stepping into your shoes and I'm going to tell you what grinder I would pick based on, well, certain contexts, certain situations, based on what you guys are looking for. As you can see, I have our 64 ranges over here and our 83 as well, except for the Z models and the Gen 1. And I'm going to tell you each of these models are best suited for what kind of consumer, and this is to follow lightly. Just because you are that kind of consumer doesn't necessarily mean that you have to purchase that specific grinder that I'm recommending for you. However, this is what I would do if I was in your shoes. If you're a beginner and you're just entering the coffee world, you're an enthusiast, you love coffee so much, you want to learn more about it, you realize that, hey, actually I can do coffee on my own, I want to learn about beans and I want to learn how to grind them, I want to learn how to make my own coffee, whether it be filter or espresso, and you're on a tight budget, the 54 is perfect for you. The 54 is the smallest grinder among the range of grinders that we have over here. And the best thing about the 54 is that it fits your budget perfectly, and it is also very dependable, reliable, and gets the job done. For every beginner out here, I'm going to recommend getting the 54 because it's also going to teach you and mold into you the practices on using a grinder. For example, when you get a grinder, you're not just going to grind your beans and then leave it there and then come back the next day and then grind them again, or you're not going to just grind 100 grams of beans just to do your cold brew and then leave it at that. No, what you're going to need to do is learn how to do maintenance for your grinder, okay? With every equipment, with any kind of equipment out there, whether we're talking about grinders, whether we're talking about cameras, whether we're talking about computers, whatever machinery that you're working with, there's always that maintenance that you have to do, or there's always a certain form of hygiene that you'd have to practice to make sure that you're using your equipment well, that they're maintained well, and that they last you long, and that you're getting the perfect results from them as well. So for the 54, it trains you on that. When you do a single dose grind, bear in mind all these are meant to be single dose grinders. The recommended range is 20 grams and below. You can go above 20 grams, but all the more reason for you to practice your hygiene. 54 comes in very well in making sure that you guys do that. You'll definitely have to do your quick shoot swipe up after every 1 to 2 grinds. For me personally, I've been using the 54 non-stop because it's the easiest grinder to handle among the rest of the grinders. When I say handle, it just means carrying it around, putting it on the table, because I have to move around stuff for shoots. But yes, it's lighter than the rest of these models, so it's easier for me to handle, and I've always gotten my dosage right. In the sense that if I put in 18 grams, I'm definitely going to get out 18 grams. I'm not going to have a 0.1, 0.2 shortage. I've never had that with the 54 and also the CF64V, which I'll come to later. Of course, I practice my grinder hygiene, which is I do the quick shoot swipe. I make sure I bellow properly, and maybe after like 3 to 5 grinds, or if I haven't used the grinder in a month, I'll do an extensive shoot cleaning that we have a video on, so do check that out. Yeah, I continue using it. I've never had a jam so far with a 54, as long as you do your maintenance. Now, this applies to all the grinders out there as well, because if you practice that, you're going to keep your equipment in good shape, the discipline really. So yeah, the 54 is the best for beginners out there, so get that, especially with it being budget friendly, starting at a price of 230 USD on our website. Like I said, if you're just getting into it, start off with this. It's budget friendly and you don't have to invest too much into it to just kickstart. So just in case, hey, making your own coffee is not for you, you just want to settle with going out to the cafes and getting your coffee, then sure, you've dipped your toes into the water for a little bit with the 54. That's the one for you. Now, we move on to the next one, which is the Gen 2.